So in this video is a replay of the MBT 70, which is an Era 3 Western Alliance heavy tank. It's an interesting tank, this tank is. I've been playing around with it quite a lot, different builds, different commander setups. In this one it's fairly standard. It's got the vertical stabilizer on it, it's got the rammer, and I think it's got the vents. The commander's fairly standard as well. It's got the gun perks, got off-road driving and rapid aim. So fairly standard sort of setup in this tank. I'm tending to lean towards more of a mobility build. So traction system, powertrain, along with a rammer. But yeah, this is a game where it's kind of more set up sort of fairly standard. As I said, it's a very interesting tank. It's got high damage, but the pen is just it's atrocious. It really is bad. I mean, the ATGMs have got about the same pen as the standard shells, so usually load up an ATGM at the start. But we've got a good flank on these tanks. Just making sure, and even, I mean, that Leopard was at a slight angle on the lower plate, and that was enough to block the shell. So it really can be frustrating when you feel like you've done everything right. You get a flank, get someone's side, then you just bounce because they're slightly angled, or RNG, or however it bounces. It is a frustrating tank to play sometimes, but I do quite like it. As I said, with my mobility build that I've got, it is quite nice, and you need to play it quite aggressively. It's a heavy tank, but it doesn't have the armour of a heavy tank, but it doesn't have the gun of a sort of lightly armoured tank, if that makes sense. So it's got a big sort of quite derpy gun, and those type of guns are usually on sort of like an armoured tank. Whereas this one, it's relatively lightly armoured compared to other sort of heavy tanks at Era 3. And yeah, the gun is, I would say it's inaccurate. But as you can see, if you can get in and you can get round people, you can like get shots into people's side of the turrets. That one looked like it just did track damage at that close range. And yeah, just put an auto-lock shot in through the engine deck there. But yeah, you do need to sort of just play it a bit, sort of quite aggressively. He should be quite fine. Just getting a bit farmed up here by that T-72 up there. This tank doesn't really have any armour. You get the odd ricochet off the turret, but other than that, yeah, it's not going to go very well. Good reverse speed on this one. I think it's got probably the best reverse in the entire game. It goes as fast backwards as it does forwards. So yeah, it's really good to get out of trouble. Yeah, as you can see, just cannot get through this tank. It's angled. It's going in sort of what you would think would be the sort of the softest armour on the top, but it isn't. Still struggles to pen, even after the buff it got. So I really don't know how this tank was before. But yeah, just loading up an ATGM. They are quite nice on this tank, just because the pen on the standard is so hopeless that you might as well just fire an ATGM and just get some splash at least. I don't really recommend getting this tank. It is very frustrating to play. I got it, I think it cost 196,000 free XP. I had 160,000. The gold was on sale as well, so yeah, I think I ended up 800 gold or something, with all my free XP obviously that I had to use up. But yeah, if I had got this full price or even half price, I think I'd be a bit disappointed, but it's okay. It earns quite a lot of silver. It is quite good for that. It is quite satisfying when you do actually have a good game in it, like this game turns out to be. It does hit hard, and you really do need to get the shots in well, and you need to know where to aim. Not really a lot you can do about the pen, unfortunately. I have run, I think it's Iron Mace is the skill that helps with the penetration over distance. I think I might get that perk back on this crew. I did see that Deadeye worked quite well on this one. I think it was a Petty's video actually, that he ran Deadeye. As you can see, I still damaged a lot of the that tank's modules, and I don't run Deadeye, so it's not one that I really like to run. But I think I might go back to using Iron Mace. I did run a bit of a meme crew on this. I was running Pain Tolerance, Deadeye, Iron Mace, Supply Conservation. I didn't have a repair kit. I was running smoke and fuel and the whole repair kit. But yeah, that was the game in sort of as a standard build. So yeah, first class on that one. I think it's an okay tank. It earns quite a lot of silver, but it's just that the pen is completely lacking. The alpha's quite nice, but you really do need to get in up close and personal. But the thing is, the armour doesn't hold up when you get up close and personal. So yeah, a bit of an odd tank. As I said, wouldn't recommend it. If you've got it, it's a good tank to play.